Hey guys, so this is going to be kind of a different video where I just do something in the background and then ramble about something. I could make it something cringy like skillin' and chillin' or whatever, but then I'd lose subscribers, so. And I'm actually not even skilling, I'm literally just making planks, but. But I wanted to talk about microtransactions in old school RuneScape because starting the 26th of July, the second microtransaction will be implemented into old school RuneScape. The first being bonds, which I don't fully agree with, but I could understand why they were put into the game. So for those that don't know, there are, in my opinion, two different kinds of microtransactions. Where's my servant? Hello? There are the ones that give you an in-game advantage and ones that are completely cosmetic. Probably one that most people can relate to is actually through Fortnite, where they are doing a very good job with microtransactions because they are fully cosmetic and they're just doing a very good job in general with the skins that they make in Fortnite. And honestly, I think that Epic Games is the model company right now when it comes to microtransactions because they have a really good game on their hands. It's really popular and they could easily sell out and make it like, oh, pay 1,000 V-Bucks and you will spawn with a shotgun or something, which would be absolutely busted, and they would probably make a fuck ton of money off that. But they don't, and they keep making skins that you have to pay real money for. And then there are the companies like EA that fuck me, that literally give you an in-game advantage for paying money. The biggest scandal, like yeah, I guess it was a scandal. The biggest scandal was with Star Wars Battlefront 2. You needed to grind like 80 plus hours just to get the main characters like Darth Vader and stuff like that. Or you could just drop like 70 bucks and you could unlock them instantly. And it wasn't like Darth Vader was like this had the same stats or the same power level as every other character. Like he was strictly better than most of the characters. So let's call the cosmetic ones type 1 and let's call the pay to win type 2. So with bonds, I believe that is a type 2 microtransaction where it is, I mean, old school, it's kind of pay to win to where you could spend money on bonds and then sell those bonds for RuneScape GP. But like I said earlier, I could kind of understand where they're coming from because this did stop a lot of real world trade. Why would you risk like getting hacked or getting scammed from a shady company or a shady website when you can literally just buy from Jagex themselves? So it did stop a lot of real world trade. But I just don't like the idea of being gifted your stuff in RuneScape. I I believe that almost all, if not everything, should be, or that you achieve on this game should be 100% you that you worked for. Even if that is luck, like even if you get a one kill count twisted bow, you know. And my stance on microtransactions is that I am fully against them unless two things occur. One, they are fully cosmetic, and two, the company that is implementing the microtransaction has already proven themselves to where the start of the cosmetic or the first microtransaction they implement isn't the gateway to future microtransactions that could be pay to win. And that's why I'm worried about the second microtransaction that is going to be implemented July 26th, which is the Twitch Prime deal that they are collabing with Twitch for. Basically, if you don't know, if you have Twitch Prime, then you get a month free membership and you get early access to a new purple skin. So like right now, you can see that what the fuck? Right now, you can see that my player's skin is white, and if you use Twitch or if you claim the Twitch Prime rewards, you can make that skin purple instead. And the reason I said it's early access is because it is early access, because everyone will have access to the purple skin after the Twitch Prime month is over. Now, what makes it a microtransaction is the fact that it is early access. You have to pay real money to get this skin early. And the reason that this is a concern to me is due to the fact that, like I stated this earlier, it could be the gateway to future microtransactions. Because Jagex themselves said that we are going to like they did something like this earlier where if you have Twitch Prime you get a month of membership. Great, that's awesome, brings a lot of new players into the game. And then they said they wanted to do this purple skin to see or to compare it to the other two skin or to compare it to the previous Twitch Prime promotion. And one thing that people need to understand is that most of the J mods really don't have a say for big updates on RuneScape. And by big updates I mean updates that affect the health of the game, such as microtransactions, because the CEO of Jagex could easily see, oh, this purple skin increased the amount of RuneScape players by X%. So that means if we implement pay-to-win microtransactions, then we will be making so much more fucking money. And it doesn't matter if every single old school JMod is against this idea, the CEO ultimately has the final decision. I don't believe any of the old school J mods want to see microtransactions in RuneScape, like pay to win microtransactions in RuneScape. But ultimately, if the CEO decides that they will be making a fuck ton of money and he wants it, then there's nothing they can do because they're probably under contract. And under the same contract, they can only say so much, which is why when people ask them about that, they say, we have no plans for microtransactions. They didn't say we will never implement microtransactions in RuneScape. They say we have no plans for them at this moment. Plans could change easily. The CEO could wake up tomorrow and be like, "Oh yeah, let's put in pay-to-win microtransactions." All of a sudden, even though they said that statement yesterday, where we have no plans on implementing microtransactions, literally the very next day they could say that they made plans, and their statement would still be true. Like, yes, yesterday they didn't have plans to implement them, but today they do have plans. Now, back to what I said previously about I'm okay with microtransactions if A, they're cosmetic, and B, the company has proven themselves to where they won't ruin the game. Epic Games, the creators of Fortnite, have proven themselves that they will never ever make a pay to win microtransactions just due to the fact that how much they're improving the game. Like they're focusing just as much updates on the quality of the game and the competitive aspect of the game and the health of the game as if not more than the updates that involve skins and cosmetics. Jagex hasn't done that. Like I said earlier, the first one was with bonds, and I don't fully agree with that, but I can understand why they did it. And RuneScape 3 is literally a dying game right now, and that's I don't want to say mainly because I don't play RuneScape 3, but I believe the microtransactions in RuneScape 3 has a big factor into the decline of the player base of RuneScape 3. And there's a pretty big circle jerk around old school, like, yeah, fuck RS3 players, but at the end of the day, once RuneScape 3 dies, what are the mods gonna do? They're not gonna update a dead game. No, they're gonna turn to old school. So back in pre-EOC, back in pre-EOC RuneScape, before Old School was even released, there was a daily event you could do called the Squeal of Fortune. And basically it was just like this wheel that you spin and it lands on an item and you get the item. Most of the items were cosmetics when they first came out, but then they started implementing experience lamps and money. I mean, it was just a little fun thing you could do every day. No one really thought about it. And then it turned out that a few months later they allowed you to buy spins on this Wheel of Fortune. And then people did some math, and it was a very good way to level up your account if you had the money for it with buying spins, because you could get experience lamps and then put that into something like agility or rune crafting. And it completely like ruined the competitive skilling aspect of RuneScape 3 because you would see people with like 30 million agility weeks or 30 million experience agility weeks or like 40 50 million Slayer runecrafting experience weeks just because they had the money to dump on the Wheel of Fortune and buy experience. So that being said, Jagex hasn't proven themselves that they can keep updating the game with cosmetic only microtransactions without falling into the downward spiral slope that is pay to win. Yes, there are cosmetic transactions. There are cosmetic microtransactions in RuneScape 3, but that's not normally what people spend their money on. They don't want to train the slow skills like agility. They don't want to spend it like hours and hours grinding that. But hey, they had a $50 paycheck from one day at work. Why not spend that on like I don't know how much that or how much experience that equates to, but you get the point, right? There are people willing to spend that money. Nobody wants to grind like 100, 200, 300 hours for 99 agility just for someone to be like, well, I just paid 200 bucks for it, you know? You lose that sense of achievement when you see other people doing that. And that's partially why I'm not okay with being able to buy RuneScape bonds because let's say you grind Vorkath for 100 hours just to get full Armadillo, full Bandos, your dream gear and then you're so happy about it, and then you just see somebody like a level 85 account, full Bandos, full Armadillo. He just like no skilling stats up. Like there's no way he could have made that much money unless he bought it. Like it just completely ruins that sense of achievement. So I'm just really worried that this is the start of a very slippery slope that Jagex is approaching. And some people are probably thinking like it's literally just a purple skin. Like come on. And everybody gets it. It's like everybody's going to get it at the end of the month, but like I said, it could just be the gateway for future microtransaction updates. And the way the community is reacting right now is actually very, very important because a lot of people said up front when Old School was released is that the second a pay to win any microtransaction is implemented into RuneScape, I will quit this game. Not me personally, but that's what others are saying. And the fact that this is literally just the tiniest, tiniest microtransaction, a fucking purple skin, and the community is freaking out, that is just a sign to Jagex that if they step into old school RuneScape territory with their microtransactions, then I can guarantee a third of the player base will quit on the spot. Actually, maybe not a third, but a good portion of the player base will cancel their membership. It doesn't affect Ironman at all, but hell, even some Ironmen will probably quit their membership because they don't want to support a game company that does this. Like in RuneScape 3, there's a good portion of Ironmen that just don't care because you can't buy, or when Iron Man mode came out on RuneScape 3, they said that like only normal accounts can buy these microtransactions, which is kind of hypocritical because like there's like yeah, you want to show off your achievements on Iron Man, but people also want to show off their achievements on a normal account. So like why is it different for Iron Man versus normal accounts, you know? Yeah, those are just my thoughts on this. I'll probably do more of these in the future, but it won't at all. What the fuck am I doing? I really don't think much will come out of this, but it there's a chance. I'm not saying that there's an 80% chance Jagex is going to implement microtransactions after this update. There's probably a less than 1% chance that there will be more microtransactions. But still, I don't think anybody even wants there to be a chance. And the way the community is reacting to the smallest microtransaction update in Old School is very, very important. And I'm hoping that it shows Jagex like we aren't gonna fuck around with these kinds of updates. So yeah, again, those are just my thoughts. I'll probably do more of these in the future, but it won't replace the weekly progress video. It won't hinder my progress because I'm literally like I'm literally making progress as I'm recording this video, just making planks and shit. So yeah, talk to you guys later.